On this episode of the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino, we give you the latest OU football updates, including players doing community service. And we're about to find out how strict Brent Venables' commits not taking other visits policy is. Then OU softball head coach Patty Gasso joins us to talk about the regular season, update everyone on Jordy Bahl's status, and discuss OU's Norman Regional in the NCAA Softball Tournament. We finish up giving you our winners and losers of the week. Please download and subscribe to the podcast, rate it 5 stars, and write us a good review. Follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Just search Oklahoma Breakdown on any of those, and you'll find us. All right. Our man Michael Hosty will kick this thing off. It's time for the Oklahoma Breakdown. It's a beautiful Wednesday, May 18th. And you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience. There are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack match, roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And the Beats and Bites Festival starts this month. Night Ranger and Starship will be performing May 28th. It's $5 general admission, and kids under 12 get in free. There will be a ton of food trucks, and there will be all kinds of things for the kids, including face painting and an inflatable obstacle course. To buy tickets, visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, simply the best. Now, recording this Wednesday morning, please leave us a 5-star review and a nice comment. Also, we're starting to finalize our sponsorships for football season. So if you want to sponsor the podcast, email the Oklahoma Breakdown at gmail.com. We got the GOAT. The GOAT is on here. Patty Gasso, Ted. She didn't have to give us the time, but she did. I love her so much.
It's awesome. Yeah, she's amazing. Very busy time of the year. So to get her on for a couple of minutes is big time. She's awesome.
Yeah, and a pretty in-depth Jordy Bahl update. So
very in-depth.
Yeah, you guys are gonna love that. But let's talk a little OU football before we talk OU softball with Coach Gasso. And wanted to start with the Soul Mission stuff, right? Because Brent Venables, he's talked so much about this being kind of the backbone of the program, right? Kind of a foundational piece of what this program is going to be. And the stuff coming out that the Soul Mission is doing this week, it's pretty cool because right now it's that small window between school ending and summer workouts starting. And you only, as a player, you only get a couple of weeks away. And I think it's extremely valuable time for guys to reset, right? To get away from it just for a little bit, see their families, just have some time. And a lot of guys on OU's team, they have taken this time, which is their time, to not only better themselves, but to impact others in the community, and not necessarily in, the state of Oklahoma, but in the state of Florida. A group of 24 guys went down to South Florida for a community service project with Scott Lake Elementary School. And Ted, the videos are awesome, man. It's awesome.
It looks like they're having a good time. Those guys, they're not just kind of going down there and hanging out and letting the other people kind of run the event. They're involved. They're bringing a lot of energy to it. The kids are just eating it up. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you just from the videos, and I've talked to a couple guys that have been down there doing some painting, right? Moving some stuff around, helping rearrange the classrooms, but the cool stuff is the interaction with the kids. And I think it's really cool seeing those videos of them spending time with those kids in the classroom, eating meals with them. They're doing some dancing. Like, And then
The
the
dance
best of all,
video was great.
the
That
dance,
kid's like clearing everyone out. I was like, get out of the way.
hey, move, it's my time. Which I loved. I love seeing stuff like that. But maybe my favorite one is it sounds like that one day they were with those fifth graders and they were about to take, I'm guessing it's like one of those state assessment tests, right? For science. And it looks like they got the hype train going for them. It was pretty cool to see.
No, it's really cool. And just thinking about it, like at the time, whenever you're in college, you probably don't realize the impact that you have on these kids. And I can't, I didn't have that happen when I was a kid, and I can only imagine what it would be like to have like these, what look like giants, coming into your classroom and hyping you up. And I know there's a lot of kids that aspire to be where they are one day. It's just got to be really cool.
Yeah. And you think about, this whole philosophy of being the uncommon man, right? And that's where I look at this stuff. And it's not like things like this haven't been happening at OU for a long time, but to have the Soul Mission group and to have those 4 or 5 guys there whose sole mission is to help these guys grow as men. It's different. It feels different, and it's going to continue to feel different. And they're putting a lot of money into this thing, and to see things like this that are already happening so quickly, right? It's not like this thing has been in place for a long time. So to see them already doing this type of stuff, it's really cool. And it's one of those moments where, for me, I'm just like, yeah, things are gonna be a little different under BV. They're just gonna be a little different. And I think I do think that the fan base sees this type of stuff, and it really aligns with the values of the fan base. Serving others, helping out not only your community but other communities in need, like helping out kids, being role models maybe for some kids that don't necessarily think that maybe college is in their future or college athletics is in their future, showing them that you can do it, preaching that message to them. It's all very cool to witness.
It is. I'll say it. There's a football part of it too. Here they are, they're taking a trip, down to South Florida. It's, the tentacles of Oklahoma football reaching out to and having a presence at an early age. And, obviously it's covered on social media here by OU, but it's also, I'm sure, going to be covered in local media. And there's some new Oklahoma fans in that school, right? So
listen, there is always a method to the madness, right?
That's
They
right.
could have gone a lot of places. They went to Miami-Dade County, and now
They didn't go to North Dakota for this.
They are not in Vermont. So you're right, but that is, it's serving that community, but also, yeah, there tends to be an athlete or two that come from that area in the state of Florida, and I don't think it hurts at all establishing those relationships, getting on the local news like they were on, and having some families of some potential players coming up see that type of stuff and associate Brent Venables and Oklahoma and the Soul Mission with a lot of positivity in that community. I don't think that hurts at all.
Right. Well, I honestly think it's awesome. And you mentioned the biggest part of it is the guys on the team, a big group of guys on the team, not turning their nose up at an opportunity like that and saying, you know what, this is one of the rare times throughout the calendar that I can do what I want to do. I'm gonna spend some downtime. I'm gonna go whatever it is that those guys want to do and take the time to go do this thing. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. And then a couple of the other guys, micro internships. Ted, would you have liked to taken part in a micro internship during
Hell
your
yeah.
college experience?
The more micro, the better, right?
I want the microist of micro internships. No, but you saw Weatherman Jay looks like he's getting some TV time down in Jupiter, Florida, getting some reps. Got some other guys doing stuff at local banks. I mean, that's also guys in their time when it really is one of the few windows you have during the calendar to get away, and they have chosen, hey, I'm going to get some real life experience. And that's also like, that's big time. And I don't remember that happening. I mean, maybe, and I know the rules have changed a little bit, but that's important to me. Like guys getting real life experience with successful companies, or, trying to build for their career after football. I mean, that's just another example of, things under Brent Venables, the Brent Venables effect. It's a little different, man.
Yeah, it's changed. I remember whenever I think it was the summer in between my freshman and sophomore year. And I knew some guys that had done it previously. They said, if you want a job to make some money during the summer, we can help get you lined up with something. And the first year I didn't do it. The second year I was like, okay. They said, go see Merv, Coach Merv, if you want a job. I went up there and he's like, I got a job. There's a company that is roofing houses that has a spot for you. I've roofed houses before. I did that in the summer when I was in high school. I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
After summer workouts, going to roof houses there's a very high percentage chance that you would die on a rooftop somewhere. Just pass out and roll off the roof. Brutal.
That is a horrible idea.
Horrible. My roommate got a job at a golf course, and basically, like he would come home every day. Lance Donnelly, he'd come home covered in like grass from like running a weed eater and stuff like that, and then just like collapse. I was like, "You're crazy, dude. You're crazy."
The only thing I did like, and it was this window, I somehow got to go to Ireland before my senior year, before summer workouts. It was me, Blake Bell, Trey Millard, and we were there for, I don't know, like 12 or 13 days, and it was a lot of fun.
I bet.
We had a very good time. We were not, no community service project. Actually, that's not true. We got to do some stuff with some kids there, but it was, I think it was a little different than what the guys did down in Florida this week. Just a little.
Well, I'll say this though, for the guys that are doing some of the internship stuff, there's no better time than when you are currently a player than to go, because like it's cool to go do an internship, but it's way cooler for the people that are having you in as an intern than it is for you, right? And like you're a big deal whenever you go in there, and everyone wants to meet you, and everyone in the whole building is like, oh my God, there's an OU player here doing an internship. Like that stuff lasts. Now, whenever you are done playing, and I don't know what you do for a couple years, then you try to enter the workforce. It's like, oh, you play? When did you play again? What was your name again? It's totally different. So whenever you can take advantage of it right now, whenever you're with the program, that's awesome.
Strike while the iron's hot, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little recruiting, right? And we do not pretend to be super dialed in to the recruiting scene, but we dabble every once in a while. And I understand that some fans getting a little antsy, right, about the lack of commitments for OU's 2023 class. And you look at it currently right now, I believe OU's got the 23rd ranked class in the 24/7 composite. They only have 5 commits. So just not a lot right now. But Brent Venables has told us he's not going to rush kids to commit at this point. We've all heard the stance on kids committing and, kind of the spiel on that and what he expects from guys once they have committed. But you see, he's talked about it recently at a few of the caravan spots that they're going to start to hopefully see some fruits of their labor, right? He expects things to start ramping up here in late May and June and July. They've developed those relationships. They feel good about it, right? When it comes to guys in the 2023 class and guys in the 2024 class. You got the Champ U barbecue the first weekend in June. So, Ted, an important stretch here for OU recruiting.
Yeah, it really is. And it's going to be difficult. This is going to be a tough class for them. This first class, you're going on. You don't have the long committed relationships with some of the recruits. You don't have any of your exploits to recruit off of. You can't say, look how great we've done yet. So you're trying to sell something that hasn't even been, it's not even off the assembly line yet. But I imagine that this recruiting class is going to take shape differently than future recruiting classes. My guess is it's going to be a little later. And yeah, my guess is that people are going to get antsy and it's going to continue. I do think that Champ U barbecue is going to be big and they will start to see some of the payoff coming, but I honestly expect it to be a late committing class, not just because of Coach Venables' philosophy on commitments, but because of the current situation and, not having seen this team in action, because it all sounds great right now. It all sounds amazing. Like the way that they're approaching everything sounds awesome, but I'm sure that there's some kids that are saying, I just want to make sure it's real. Let me see how this team plays and how this system looks and all of those things as they head into the season. So I do think it's going to be a later class. I could be wrong. Maybe it all starts to pour in here at the Champ U barbecue, but I do expect it to take place a little later than it typically does.
Yeah, and this kind of transitions us right into Call Your Shot, right? Because we asked you guys the most important thing that happened this week for OU football. And this first one comes from Blake DeBernard. He says, wide receiver commit Ashton Cozart has decided to visit Oregon. So we will get to see what happens when someone breaks BV's no visits while being committed rule. So just a little reminder, and I think I'm saying his name right. Cozart, is that right?
I think so, yeah.
So Ashton Cozart, he is, I guess he's going to visit Oregon. 4-star wide receiver from the Flower Mound area. He committed back in February.
Are we going to see a decommitment graphic from OU? Is that how this works nowadays?
Is it like he has to step on the campus and it automatically, like the decommitment graphic automatically posts? Like, how's it work?
I don't know. It is interesting though, because really it's, it's always going to be up to the player, and that's a calculated risk that you take as a player that, whenever you open up your recruitment to other places, that the original place you committed to is no longer there. That scholarship's no longer there. My guess is it still will be, but yeah, it's interesting. And I know a lot of it's controversial. Coach Venables' take on commitments is controversial, but he's selling a total experience, a holistic experience that is built on accountability. The coaching staff, accountability towards the players, the players' accountability towards the program. And that doesn't ring true if you're not going to start off on the right foot. If we're not going to start off holding you accountable from the very beginning on the commitment aspect of it. I know it's controversial, and I get it. And I know a lot of people are going to blame lower recruiting classes or the lack of commitments on that, but I will never have a problem with someone holding somebody else to their word. I don't have a problem with that, and I never will. And I understand that not everyone does that. And that's sometimes not how the game is played in college football recruiting. But I will not have a problem with somebody, a staff, a program, holding somebody to their word. That's what we're supposed to do as humans.
Right. And the only thing that makes me a little worried, and listen, Brent Venables, if he says something, he means it. And he backs it up. So he's made it pretty clear what the stance is if a guy that's committed takes visits. He's made it very clear. But we've talked about USC having an organ problem. Maybe everyone's got an organ problem, man. I mean.
Yeah. And we had heard before he ever even went to Oregon and, pre-NIL stuff that Lanning will do what it takes to get the recruiting done, right?
Correct.
So it is no shock. But, just kind of back to the, like you said, Venables is gonna hold you to your word and all of that things. When he says something, he means it. And it's the same thing with this. If you say something and don't mean it, well, then everything else you say is up to be questioned, isn't it? So I honestly, I have no problem with it. And frankly, this kid may be great. And recruiting matters. Getting more talented players, it matters. But I am a firm believer that it does, like, this recruiting class. I don't care.
You're a believer in the culture.
Yeah.
I don't
care where exactly. Yeah. I don't care where the recruiting class ends up being ranked. I don't care who the players are that end up signing on, because I know whenever they get here, the development's going to be through the roof. That is ultimately what's going to win you a championship. You got it. There's no doubt you got to sprinkle in talent. You absolutely have to sprinkle in talent, and you've got to have some big time players. And I think that's going to happen, but I am not at all going to get hung up on recruiting rankings and where the total class ends up being ranked, because I don't think Clemson had a class higher than maybe number 8 before they won their 2 national championships. The high recruiting classes for Clemson came after that.
Right. Yeah. I just think you look at the rankings right now, like you see Notre Dame at number 1. Yeah. They've got 13 commits. Do you know who number 2 is right now? And it's not going to last because their average star ranking isn't gonna keep them at the top. But
I was just looking at it on 247 yesterday, but it's not ringing a bell because I know this early on it's all scattered.
Texas Tech.
Yeah.
They've got 20 commits. Look at Joey McGuire go.
I still think Joey McGuire is, I think he's excellent. And, his class, they're not going to end up number 2. They're probably not going to end up in the top 25. But I think that you look at what he did at Baylor, he is excellent. He knows so many people in Texas. He gets the under-recruited guys that coaches say, hey, this kid, I know he's a 3-star, but I'm telling you, he's going to turn into a player. And those guys, we saw it at Baylor. How many guys at Baylor turned into elite Big 12 players that were not highly recruited, when they were coming out of high school? So I think that's going to be the same type of formula there at Texas Tech. Now, does he have the staff that can develop them like Baylor? Baylor's had some excellent staffs the last couple of years. Can they get the development that they got at Baylor? I don't know, but I think he's going to be able to recruit that same type of guy.
Yeah, you talk about a relationships guy. That guy knows everyone in the state of Texas. All right. Birthday shout-outs time. Happy 12th birthday to Eva Ward. Eva Ward.
Eva is how I would have gone. I think it's Eva Ward. So nicely done. Happy 14th birthday to Brody Beast Mode Smith.
Yeah. Happy 19th birthday and happy graduation to Christian Forbes.
Happy 23rd birthday to Noah Ramos.
Happy 34th birthday to Tyler Ferguson.
Happy 39th birthday to Kristen Robinson.
Happy birthday to the pride of Enid, Oklahoma, Grant Romas.
Happy birthday to Miles Anschutz.
Happy birthday to Creed Earl Williams.
And happy birthday to Jesse Benitez.
Yeah. All right. It's time for the GOAT, Patty Gasso. But first, the only place to stop when you're road tripping is Love's Travel Stops. Love's has over 600 locations in 41 states, offering 24-hour access to clean and safe places. Whatever your road trip needs are, Love's has it. Fuel, fresh food, all the snacks and drinks, including my favorite, yes, Java Amore. That coffee is fantastic. Love's also has you covered if you forget your phone charger or headphones. They've expanded their mobile to-go zone so you can grab any of that stuff there. Make sure you download the Love's Connect app for exclusive offers from today's most popular brands. The Love's Connect app also includes a route planner and store locator. When you see that red neon heart on the highway, stop in and say hi at Love's Travel Stops. For a full list of what Love's has to offer, visit loves.com.
Neopolis Clothing is the exclusive home for all of our Oklahoma Breakdown merchandise, both sporting them today. If you want to live your life in buttery soft comfort, go to opolisclothing.com. That's OPOLIS clothing.com and use promo code TED, T-E-D, for 10% off your entire order. You still get a discount on all of the OU and OKC Thunder gear as well. That's opolisclothing.com. Use promo code TED, T-E-D, for 10% off, buttery soft, and 10% off.
And make sure you send your kids to Bishop McGinnis Catholic High School. Bishop McGinnis Catholic High School has a long tradition of educational excellence. With a 12-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio, no student is overlooked. Bishop McGinnis's college prep curriculum offers 22 AP courses. There are numerous clubs and organizations for students to join, and as a proud member of the OSSAA, there are 14 sports offered. If you want to provide the best possible educational and spiritual development for your children, contact Bishop McGinnis Catholic High School or visit bmchs.org. Financial aid is available. All right, it's Patty Gasso time. It is our pleasure to be joined by the best softball coach in America. Patty Gasso is in the house. What's going on, Coach?
Oh, nothing. Just getting ready for the most enjoyable part of the season. So,
there's no doubt about that. Everyone is, the state of Oklahoma is on fire for softball right now. And Coach, I wanted to start with this. The kind of the mantra for the program is the championship mindset, right? And that is what this time of year is all about for you and your players. What does that championship mindset entail for you?
A lot of things, but really, you got to be really connected as a team going forward. You have to have a really tight connection. And to me, a championship mindset is like you're really rooting for each other in every at bat, like you're engaged, you're paying attention, you're focusing on what we're doing. Your mind is clear, you're very confident, you're free to swing, you're free thinking, you're free moving, you're not getting all clouded with thoughts in your own mind or overthinking or questioning. You just have to be as free and really trust that process, because it sounds so easy and it's not. But in our game, there's so much time to stand around that your mind can really mess you up. And so it's really trying to be free in every way, shape, and form, and just really create this bond and this like unmovable force, offensively, defensively, where you really have to have all cylinders working as you go into postseason. So that's what our goal is right now. We've come together and just started a whole new reset. And during our games, one of the things we talk about in the 7-inning game, we talk about the first 3 innings and just setting your standard. The 4th and 5th are like work innings. Now we got to really get to work. We got to really set our tone, continue to push. And 6 and 7 are your championship innings. And that's where you need to be your best. That's where you come through. That's where clutch comes from. And that's where we are in our season. We're in the 6th and 7th inning. In other words, we're in our championship style season. So everything needs to be working well and working right.
That's an interesting point. The time that you have in your sport, like say you have a strikeout, you may have to go stand out in the outfield, not get a ball, and then maybe not get another at bat for, a couple of innings. So that the failure can really weigh on you. And, you guys are coming off of the loss against Oklahoma State, and there's time there before you kind of head into the postseason even more so. Is that a challenge after a game like that to keep that focus, as you talked about, like in the frame of a game, but also within kind of where you're at in the season?
Yeah, it's not a challenge. It's a quick, real reset. The team was not happy with the way they played. They were not happy with the outcome. And all they want to do is get back on the field and get it right. So it's a new, refreshing attitude. Like, we can't go into postseason and have a game where we're just, not hitting on all cylinders. So they're really amped for that. We're also doing a lot of things kind of team oriented. We went out to beautiful Lake Thunderbird last night for a sunset powwow and just kind of a little fire pit type. You just try to create those moments. Jocelyn Allo made a comment last night that got her a little emotional, and she's like, I'm scared of what my future looks like, because this is all I've known for 5 years. So you're starting to hear some real comments, real human comments, because it's almost like we've been robotic through the entire season, like win another game. So it's just nice to hear them let down their guard a bit. And those things you can take to the field with you. You're fighting for the person as well as just the university or just, for advancement. So I'm anxious. I'm excited. They really look a little bit different once that game on Saturday, we got back to the field, got back working. They look fresh. They look ready. I'm really excited about this.
That's exciting to hear, Coach. Now, going back to the championship innings, how hard is it for you when you have 35 run rule games? How hard is it for you to simulate that pressure, whether it's for your pitchers, for your hitters in those 6th and 7th innings, when really you didn't play a lot of those, especially you didn't play a lot of them in tight games? So how do you and your staff like try to simulate them feeling that pressure?
Yeah, we do it a lot, actually. We are fans of crowd noise. I hate it. It's so irritating, but if it irritates them, then I know that I've got something going on, So I try to stir their emotions or kind of rattle them in different ways. I take the microphone and I just kind of call out the situations. Every hitter might have a different situation, a different count. And we kind of set the tone and kind of give it a second to sink in, and then we get after it. So it is constant challenge. And some of the best games we've had are inter squads. And if I could have it televised for you, you would enjoy watching Jordy Bahl facing Jocelyn Allo. or, some of these matchups, and the way they play at practice is very, very game-like. And if you saw it, you would enjoy it. And that's our standard. That's part of your championship mindset, is just making your practice as hardworking and intense and everything you expect to see in a game. So we did that as early as yesterday. We were just getting after it right from the start.
Now, you mentioned Jordy Bahl there. I was trying to give enough time to let Gabe ask the question, but I'll go ahead and dive right in here. Jordy Bahl out over the weekend. What's the thoughts as you're heading into the postseason here?
Yeah, she is out, and she was out, but we are still hopeful. And this is going to come down to a doctor. It's x-rays, it's her forearm, it's what her forearm looks like. There was a time when she couldn't lift her arm. It happened on Saturday. Let's see, when was it? The weekend Saturday that we played Oklahoma State here. And she fielded a ground ball in our pregame warm-up, threw it, and felt something just really attack her forearm, and went in, said it felt it was hurting so badly. They got the x-rays, and she's been in constant care and everything we can do to help her through it. The pain has subsided substantially. Her x-ray happens today, and it's going to come down to the doctor, and it's probably going to come down to pain tolerance and what she can handle and what she can't. Right? We don't know yet, but it has been done, and I know that for a fact because I talked to one of the best pitchers that ever played our game, named Jenny Finch, and she finished a season 32-0 with a fractured forearm. And she talked me through what it felt like. And so I'm not going to have Jordy do anything she's not ready to do. I'm not going to have Jordy do anything the doctor doesn't agree that she can do. So we're ready one way or the other. Right now, our mindset is we're doing this without her. Everybody step up. Let's do our thing. If she is able to pitch, it will just be a bonus for us.
That's certainly a massive storyline going into the regional, Coach. So with Jordy's status being uncertain, how does that change the preparation for Nicole May and Hope Troutwine?
It really doesn't. I think they know they're capable. They've showed it. They handled it. Our home weekend, they handled it well at Hall of Fame. There are a few things that we had problems with. One was based on balls, but also our offense was stagnant, and that's not like us. So we know it's not really on those two. They just need to do their job, and when they do it very well. Our offense needs to step forward and help this cause. No, there's no boo-hoo for us, because I'm going to expect that you're going to see Jordy Bahl. I just am. By how she's made differently. She is made differently. And there's going to have to be something so substantial to keep her off the mound. And with the way things are going right now, it looks more hopeful than it did a week ago, for sure.
That's good news. So what do you think about the draw for the regional and just kind of the overall, like the scope of the country this year, and what you see from some of the top teams, and what you think this year's tournament's going to look like?
I think the committee did a really much more thorough job. To me, it seemed like they did their homework. They were watching games. Everybody cares first and foremost about their own, and I know ours is tough. Texas A&M plays in the best conference in the country, and you might have more losses than others, but you're also playing tougher games than anyone else. So they are not afraid of us. They know how to win, and win big, as does Minnesota. We played them earlier, but they've had success against Northwestern, who's their a top 9 seed. So I know we're going to have to be very good in this regional, but as I look, there are some that might be a little bit softer than others, but that seems to always be the case. Always seems to be that Alabama has a softer one. I don't know if it's because of where they're located and travel partner, what matches up.
It tends to work out in football the same way. It's strange. It's real weird.
I don't know. But I think there are no big, like, what? And last year there was more than a few of those. And we were involved with one of them with Washington. So I feel like it was thought out much better and relatively fair across the board.
Patty, when you guys get your regional, right? When the selection show happens and you see what the draw is, what is the process like? What are the next steps for you and your staff? Like, how do you approach when you know the teams that are going to be in your regional? Like, take us through kind of what that sets in motion.
Yeah, well, as soon as the team leaves the house, then we sit around my kitchen table and we just all have our laptops out, and we're pulling Patrick, our SID is pulling all the stats for us. We're calling coaches that we know have played. Some of these we're getting inside information. You've got all the 6-4-3, the spray charts. You've got all kinds of technology that we are signed up with that brings us all this information so that we could put it up on our screen yesterday and show these athletes what we're dealing with, from every pitcher that we're going to face to, every stat, every number, every tendency. Softball has come a long way when it comes to technology. There's so much involved than it used to be. We start, everybody's looking at video. They're picking up like 2 games from Texas A&M, another grad assistant's picking 2 others, and we're just gathering all our information together. Again, just trying to use what we see on video, but also what technology brings us as well. So it's a process for sure.
To that point, you mentioned, in the Oklahoma State game that the offense was a little stagnant. And I'm curious, is that perhaps some of that technology coming in whenever you've played a team so many times in a short span? Or is there something in the offense that you feel like needs to be addressed as you move forward? Because my natural thought is once you get into a regional against some teams that you haven't been playing as much, that the offense is going to bounce back.
No, we'll bounce back. I think Saturday was about heroics. I think there were big swings and a ton of fly balls. And Hall of Fame is in Oklahoma is quite interesting because the wind will dictate a lot for you. So if the wind is blowing one way, you better be ready to pull the ball over. There's certain fields that a ball will go to die. And that's what we were doing. We were hitting a lot of balls up in the air that were just hanging there. But there were some good swings, but they were just a little too big. And if we would have hit the ball a little bit harder on the ground, thought we would have had more success. But that's kind of unlike us. But when you're on a big stage, sometimes you can want to be that hero. And it didn't work for us. The wind, it was heavy. The air was just so heavy that balls weren't going out. We hit some hard, they just didn't go anywhere. So the contact is good, but sometimes too, we're just chasing, when you're heroic, trying to be heroic, we're chasing balls out of the zone and just not squaring things up the way we're used to. Now I give credit to their pitching staff. They did a really good job against us. But we brought it back to Norman and we've made some adjustments, and I think you're going to see a big difference.
Coach, I know that the most important portion of the season is here moving forward, but as you as you think about the regular season and what the team accomplished, who are a couple of individuals maybe that kind of outperformed your expectations coming into the season, where you're looking at it now going, man, she played really, really well. Maybe I didn't see, that high level of play coming.
It's hard to answer that because so many of them are returners that I knew so much about them coming in. I think what part of our problem was our numbers were so fantastic last year that some of our athletes have been chasing those numbers and the opposite has been happening. So I would say the newcomer Alyssa Brito has come in and solidified the left field position and really done a good job, like second half of the season and in conference, hitting the ball very well, coming in clutch. Lindsey Elam was on a tear where I think she hit like 4 or 6 home runs in a row consecutively. So all of them have had spurts, but I feel postseason notoriously brings out the best in our team, and they know it's at stake and it's exciting and they're playing at home. I just feel there's going to be a lot of different heroes these next 3 weekends. But they're all doing what I expect just because of what they've done the year before. And they're that good that anybody could be a hero at any time. We don't have to wait for Jocelyn Allo to hit it out. This team has hit over 115 or 112 home runs, which is throughout the board. I mean, from Grace Lyons, Lindsey Elam, I mean, top to bottom in the lineup, anyone could change a game in one swing. And so that's what we're looking forward to.
I think it's so cool. I know you got the new stadium coming and some upgrades as well coming, but you've got the regional now. Did you ever imagine that you'd be watching a game and you'd have a couple hundred people or however many people, just not standing room only, waiting outside, watching, just that it's grown so big? It's just so cool to see that happen.
Yeah, I've been here for 28 years and started over across the street at Reeves Park, where there was maybe 50 people in the stands and they were afraid to sit on the wooden bleachers because they would fall in on them. So we literally, to me, it was like being on a blacktop of if you had a basketball court, you're playing on the blacktop. Moving over to Marita Hines Field, definitely it's like stepping into a 2-story house now. Look at us. But we just can't accommodate everyone. So the home run village was a thought of ours last year, and that's turned into probably 700 or 800 people out there, not even in the stadium, but just wanting to be part of the sounds of the stadium, watching us on a big screen TV, hoping that someone hits a home run so their kids can chase it. It's really looks like a really fun environment out there. But what's on all of our minds is that we're going from the 2-story house to a high rise with Love Stadium. And this is the one piece of the puzzle that's been missing from our program since I've been here, is just a legitimate stadium that can lead us into the SEC, that can seat 3,000 to 4,000 people and room for more if needed. So I am just so excited about the future, but to see what what softball fans have done in this state and supporting us and Oklahoma State. There were 7,000 people at the Big 12 tournament. Those are numbers that the World Series was seeing not too long ago. So I don't know exactly how or why, but I do feel the Sooners are a little part of the excitement of the fans wanting to get closer to this sport, and ESPN taking it on and saying, let's show you what female athletes look like and then play the game well. People love it. It's 2.5 hours. It's not 4.5 hours. So you still have time in the day to be with your family and so forth. But there's a lot of spirit in our sport. There's a lot of cheering and a lot of energy and a lot of passion. And I think people love to see that as well.
Well, Coach, we really appreciate the time. I know you're extremely busy right now. If you want to say anything else to the fans, go ahead. You can just take this thing over. We'll let you do that. But other than that, man, thank you so much for the time. And we cannot wait to watch your team play in the postseason.
The only thing I want to say is I hope people know that 2 elite Sooner football players have the headphones on right now. So you want to be listening to me, but these are the guys that help build OU football and continue to live in elite status. So I'm just a squirrel. You guys are the main attractions.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Patty, you're the best. Thanks.
It's awesome.
But the fact you guys support us means a lot. That is a whole nother. We're getting respectable press and interest from everybody in it. We just appreciate you guys following and pumping up college softball. It means a lot to us.
People love it. I mean, they love it. I was talking to someone yesterday, and there's no doubt in my mind, OU softball, I mean, it's inching closer and closer to OU football in popularity. Like,
well, wait a minute. Let me.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, when you talk about, and not to disparage any other athletic program at OU or anything, but it's football, and then I don't think there's any doubt, Ted, softball is number 2 in popularity.
Well, I damn near had a mutiny on my hands, Coach, whenever the ESPN broadcast went down when it was going to extra innings. I had a bunch of people from the neighborhood over hanging out by the pool. It was mayhem. Mayhem.
Well, I'll tell you, that's another big wow moment for me, because I've lived in OU football and lived here for so long, and I understand it and I get it. And football is the king. We'll happily be the queen. Happily be your.
I mean, there is no doubt you guys are the queens of the state of Oklahoma. Patty, you're the best. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
She is awesome. I mean, she's a rock star, man.
She's the best. It's no mystery as to why those teams continue to be so good year in, year out. Excellent at what she does. Excellent at demanding the best from that team. Love it.
I will say, I think it's cool that the fan base is now aware of what Jordy Bahl is going to battle through. That, I mean, I feel like that will only get the OU softball fans even more behind that. I mean, she's talented enough, right? But now knowing she's battling through that, like, let's go, Jordy. We got your back.
Yeah, it's crazy. How cool is it to be able to dial up one of the best ever and just be like, oh, hey, how was this injury when you had it? It's like calling Nolan Ryan, and being like, hey, what was it like whenever you had to go through this that one time? Just, that's really cool stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's finish up with our winners and losers of the week. But first,
it's time to get back out on the golf course, people, and there's nothing better to drink on the course than the #1 seltzer in golf, Clubby Seltzers. Clubby Seltzers is an Oklahoma company that is already winning national awards because their product is delicious. It tastes exactly like a club special, but it's a seltzer. They're not just for the golf course either. They're perfect to drink by the pool, after mowing the lawn, whatever. If you haven't tried Clubby Seltzers yet, go grab some. You won't regret it. Clubby's first variety pack is coming out soon. To find a place near you that has Clubby's, visit clubbyseltzers.com.
And attention, business owners. You need Insurica in your life. Yeah, you do. Insurica is one of the country's largest insurance brokers with 30 offices throughout Oklahoma, Texas, and the Southwest. Insurica is able to customize programs by accessing the latest information from many insurance carriers. They compare and contrast coverage offerings and pricing in order to design a cost-effective, comprehensive program to meet your business's specific needs. Insurica's clients become best-in-class businesses by working with Insurica's team of advisors to manage risk. Purchasing insurance is only one way to protect your business. Best-in-class businesses win by avoiding loss in the first place. If your business partners with Insurica, you'll save huge amounts of money and take back control of your total cost of risk. I'm an Insurica client, and you should be too. If your business wants to be best in class, connect with Insurica at insurica.com. That's INSURICA.com. As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
Heavy biased pick here for winner of the week. It's Oklahoma golf fans going out to Southern Hills. Tiger Woods looking good, feeling better, feeling stronger. I'm telling you, Gabe, something good is going to happen. I can feel it. Okay, I can feel it with Tiger. It's going to be hot. Tiger's better whenever it's hot. Keeps that body loose. This is going to be something big. It's going to be awesome out there.
I think the conditions. Did you hear him talk about the course? In his presser, he was talking about like there's more variety now for shots and this. It sounds like he likes how the thing is lining up for him. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, it's not just hit it 350 and wedge it in there. There's more shot making out there, and I think, as he gets older, that type of styles probably does benefit him way more. He's an iron player, and I think that's going to be the strength of his game moving forward. So when the course is set up like that, and he feels good. He feels strong. He's moving well. Everyone that's following him around says he looks totally different than the Masters. The Masters was, just because the time of year was cooler. I think this is setting up nicely.
I'm with you. The only negative, and I hope I'm not stealing your loser. The only negative for golf fans going there is that $18 Michelob Ultra.
What are we doing, man? Right?
Okay. Before you get too angry, it's a 25 ounce Michelob Ultra, right? So it's like which is straight up tall boy. So it's really like a $9 beer, which still not great. But does that change your stance knowing that it's a tall boy at all?
No, not at all. Doesn't change my stance at all. It actually makes it worse.
But you were nodding yes.
I know. Here's the thing. It's actually okay. Enjoy the first 10 ounces of your $18 beer cold, and the final 15 ounces of it starting at lukewarm and ending in hot in the 92-degree heat, and then come back and stand in a line for 30 more minutes to get another beer. There's other things to be upset about. Number one, I'm not going to be there, and I'm not going to have to pay the $18 beer. Okay. I feel bad for the people serving it because everyone's going to be pissed, and it's probably not going to work out well in the tip jar. That's just kind of how everything goes. But I guess there's other things in life to be upset about. If you get a really nice show out there, and I think it is going to be a great tournament, well, then I guess maybe it's worth it. But it just does feel like someone's like gouging you for no reason. It really does.
I'm with you. And we're going Saturday and Sunday. And my wife, one of her family businesses, did a sponsorship thing. I've been told I can't call it a tent. I've been instructed that the people at Southern Hills would like for us to refer to it as a chalet. which I don't know what that word means, and I absolutely refuse to refer to it as that. But when she told me that, dude, I was like, what does that even mean?
That is hilarious.
But I think there's going to be alcohol.
they could only charge $12, but since they're chalets, it's going to be 18.
I don't know. I assume there's it's gonna be stocked with alcohol because I don't think this thing was cheap, right? And I think they're gonna have like some clients and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm just going where I'm told. But yeah, even I saw those beer prices and I was just like, come on, man. Like, that's not the Oklahoma way of doing things. Go real cheap and let's all get real lubed up and have a time.
Go cheap. Have everyone talking about how great it was, not how expensive it was. If I was a younger man and I was a real renegade, I'd find a way to sneak in like 1,000 cold beers and just start giving them away to everyone.
Pocket shots, Ted. Pocket shots. All right. Who do you have as your loser of the week?
I had to go with Nathan Eovaldi. I've been going heavy baseball recently. I did the Cincinnati Reds, who threw a no-hitter and lost. We've got another historic performance from the Red Sox. Only the third player ever to allow 5 home runs in a single inning. What a performance. I feel bad for the guy. You never know what's going to happen. The other thing is it's the Astros. So maybe they got onto his signals a little bit somehow, which is what
you think they might have figured something out? Did you see his line? 1.2 innings pitched, 8 hits, 9 runs, 6 earned runs, 5 home runs, 0 strikeouts.
So what is that? That's got to be like a ERA of like 80.
So
something?
you said maybe they figured out the signals, but also here's this pitch chart. I think that's a problem when you're just stroking it right down the middle, right above the belt consistently to the Astros hitters.
Let's start painting the edges a little bit more.
Let's work the black a little bit. Shall we, Nathan?
It's like they may want to check him for color blindness. When they were showing him the heat map for some of these hitters, I think he had his spots mixed up a little bit.
The ultimate troll by one of those Astros hitters would be like, hey, I think I'm going to do the home run derby, and could he be the guy that,
call him in.
That throws to me?
Hey, I know we've only briefly met before, but what are you doing All-Star Weekend? You got anything going on?
You free? You got some free time? You don't have a trip planned, do you? You should save your money.
I'll send you an Astros uniform and you can just deal it up for me in the home run derby. No, I thought that was unfortunate, but notable nonetheless.
Look at you. Football guys talking baseball. That's what we do. Apparently.
That's what happens whenever you've got a kid playing baseball these days, I guess. You start to
Are you becoming like a big baseball guy because of your son? Or no? Reluctant?
I definitely enjoy it more now because it kind of brought me back into it. I played whenever I was younger, and now I'm playing catch, throwing a baseball, 3-4 times a week now. So yeah, it does get that fired up a little bit more.
Okay. All right. Let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all. Whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone, everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
And if you are a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you're doing, head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage Single Malt Whiskey. It was just voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn Whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones pot still bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year round. Remember, in 2012, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition, beating brands like Johnny Walker and Macallan, and became the first American distillery to win that competition. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners, yeah, they're from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. All right, for my winner of the week, thought about going with Steph Curry. And I know the Western Conference Finals, they have not started yet as of this recording, but 13 years after leaving Davidson College, Steph Curry graduates. Pretty cool. I like when the guys go back and get their degree, but I don't think it's a coincidence that he did it, because Davidson only retires the numbers of players that have graduated. So Steph Curry, by far the most famous person ever from Davidson, doesn't have his number retired yet because he hasn't graduated. I love that. And they're like, nope, you got to get your degree. And he went and got it.
That's awesome. Did you see Jerome Bettis graduated?
Climb the steps.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. He was like, yeah.
Yep. Very cool. Nice to go back and get that done. I wonder if Steph Curry actually got it done, or if he made a sizable donation to Davidson's basketball program or something.
Either way, I'm fine
Doesn't
with
matter.
it.
Doesn't matter.
He's got the degree. Also thought about going with the XFL. This is a pretty big deal. I thought was announced.
Yeah.
All of its regular season games and playoff games will air on either ESPN, ABC, or FX. Those are all under the Disney umbrella. Disney must love The Rock, man.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. He's done a bunch of.
Was Jumanji Disney?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Is some of it had to be?
Yeah.
I'm guessing, and that's part of having The Rock there, is he can leverage some of that, and that works out well for him. I agree with you. It looks like a really good deal, and I'll just go back to what I said before about the XFL. I thought it was entertaining, and I was enjoying it whenever that first season was rolling along. I know it's difficult financially to make those leagues work, but I think they're doing a good job with it right now.
Yeah, but my winner of the week, the Oklahoma City Thunder. The basketball gods have smiled upon us, Ted.
Pretty good.
They have smiled upon us. Thunder got the 12th pick, but also got the second pick. They were slotted for the 4th, but they got the second in the NBA draft lottery. Nick Collison did not look thrilled when they got the 12th pick, but he was one smirking son of a bitch when they got number 2, baby. It was really fun to watch. The drama was awesome. That commercial break was brutal. Oh, but it will be the Thunder's first top 4 pick since 2009, when, of course, they selected James Harden. And now the debate begins. Who do they get it to, right? And Orlando, how about Orlando finally getting the number 1 overall pick? But I would like to go on record. I am a Jabari Smith guy. I am a Paolo Banchero guy. I just don't know about Chet Holmgren. I know everyone says it'll be perfect in OKC's system. I get it. And it feels very Sam Presti. Now, maybe he goes number 1 overall to Orlando because he checks a lot of boxes that Orlando has really liked traditionally in the past. But I really hope we get Jabari Smith. Come on.
I honestly don't know. Now, I've said guys that are as skinny as Holmgren aren't going to turn out in the NBA, and it's been a disaster for me. So I'm not even saying anything about him. Very skilled guy, very skilled, can do a lot.
Little hunched over for me. Little hunch to that back.
I think I like Banchero, but
I like Banchero and Smith a lot.
Yeah. It feels like Banchero's just maybe has more NBA type of tools, but What do I know? I no way of gauging it. I have
Yeah.
no idea.
For
I'm
for
going
Paolo
to trust the
also,
process.
Also for Paolo, like I like him ever since Brundle mistook him for Patrick Mahomes at the Formula One race in Miami. The way he handled that was hilarious, and he was great. But you got the shooting and the defense with Jabari Smith. You got the playmaking, the ball handling at, with a big frame with Paolo. Chet, maybe he's the highest ceiling guy out of all these guys. But if the Thunder end up with any of the three, I mean, I'm going to be happy. But also, you got guys, talking Shaden Sharp, even though he didn't play a collegiate game. Keegan Murray is being mentioned as a guy that's in the mix there in the top 5. So we think we know what Sam Presti's going to do, right? It'll probably be, if Chet goes 1, you're taking Smith or you're taking Buncaro. But who knows, man? You really never know with Presti.
Trade back, take some more assets.
No, absolutely not. But a couple of things where Damian Lillard looked so pissed when Portland got second, and I thought Domantas Sabonis' reaction was hilarious. Detroit getting the 5th pick, that was pretty brutal for them, but kind of funny. But the Pelicans also, and I know what they ended up with the 8th pick. They had that Lakers pick. Man, I'm telling you, if Zion can get right, Brandon Ingram and some of the pieces they've got, if you get a guy that can contribute with that 8th pick, Pelicans could be interesting. But I'm just so happy that the Thunder moved up 2 spots instead of like falling 2 spots. That would have been brutal. And I know the last time that happened, we got Josh Giddey. It's worked out, but it was really nice to feel like we got a win. We've suffered the last 2 years. It felt like the basketball gods were like, here you go, Thunder fans. You guys have earned this for what you've had to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Yeah, it's the first opportunity I feel like the Thunder have had in maybe since, maybe missing someone, but maybe since Steven Adams, that they've drafted someone that I know who the hell they are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every other draft has been someone from overseas or far enough back to where it's like, okay, I'll trust it. I don't know who this guy is, but okay, we'll see how it works out. This is the first time in a long time that you've got some real names going into it that you're pulling from, which is awesome.
It's way more exciting. It's way more exciting. I'm so excited. All right, for my loser of the week, man, thought about going with Tariq Cohen. I don't know if you saw the video, but just brutal, dude. Tore his knee up last year for the Bears. Bears released him a few months ago. Was doing a workout, streaming it live on Instagram Live, going over some hurdles, going forward, was backpedaling, plants, bam.
I didn't see that. He was doing it live?
Yeah, on Instagram. Just so brutal. And you could see he did the classic turn around and look like, who kicked me?
Someone kicked him, yep.
It was, and he knew. It looked bad. Like it was brutal.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That is. Did he run over and grab the phone and turn it off?
No, he he knew immediately. You could tell it, like you can even see it on his face when it like hits him, like, oh no.
I bet was it opposite leg?
I do not know the answer to that. It looked like his right Achilles, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it was just seeing the react. It wasn't like a gruesome watch, but it was just, you felt for the guy. You know what I mean?
Oh, that sucks. Wow.
Yeah. But my loser of the week, I'm going to go with the Boston Celtics, man. And I know they were coming off a really hard-fought, physical, emotional 7-game series with Milwaukee, right? And they were coming in only a couple days between that Game 7 and Game 1 there in Miami. So you figured, hey, they're probably going to lose game one. But then no Al Horford, COVID protocol, and we really don't know when he's going to be back, right? No Marcus Smart. He's got a foot sprain. He's a big, powerful guy. I don't like when NBA players' feet are bothering them. But all that being said, they came out and they looked really solid in the first half in game one against Miami. And I think they were up as many as 13, took an 8-point lead into the half, but Miami bullied them in the third quarter. I mean, they just turned up the defensive intensity. And it was like, I mean, it looked like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum couldn't dribble there for a little bit. And Miami outscored them 39-14 in the third. And I'll say it, man. Jimmy Butler, he thinks he's the best player in the league. He does. And maybe that's all that matters, because I'm sure he was, the stuff you and I were saying about Jason Tatum, like, okay, where does he stack up now in the league? Like, is he a top 5 guy? Is he a top 3 guy? Like, who are you taking before you take Tatum? And Jimmy Butler's hearing that going, man, I'm better than him. I'm better than him. And after watching game one, it's kind of argue against that point, because, dude, he's that dude. I mean, he had 17 points in that third quarter. He was all over the place defensively. He ended up with 41 on 19 shots. He shot 2 threes in the game, missed them both. Got to the free throw line, was 17 of 18 from the free throw line, and it wasn't like cheap getting to the line. Like, they were all pretty legitimate foul calls. Like, it was just him being aggressive and forcing the issue and getting calls. And I don't know, man, but Jimmy Butler, like, my opinion of him, and I know they went to the finals back in the bubble year, but, like, my opinion of him has changed dramatically over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. I don't know, this could be a bad take, but a couple of things. Number one, I feel like the Miami Heat are way closer to how Boston plays than Milwaukee was. I view Milwaukee as a more finesse team, where the Celtics are more of a bruising type of team, and that matchup is good for them. But whenever you go up against someone that plays that same way, I feel like it's a little more difficult of a matchup. Could be wrong on that. And the other thing is, it felt like one of those games where, and you'll see this in the playoffs, sometimes if a team wins, like, say they win the first 2 games at home, well, the first game they go on the road is almost like we're playing with house money. And if you're up at the end of the third, okay, because the fourth quarter is brutal. That's whenever the physical discomfort comes in. You're tired. You're beat up. It's like, where are we at the end of the third? Are we in it? Yes. All right, let's fight for it. No. Okay, you guys can have this one. We're coming back to battle in the next game.
I will give Boston credit. They made it a little interesting. Not that interesting, but a little interesting. They're late in the fourth, cut it to like 8 or 9. But, yeah, as far as now they need to get Horford back. I thought they really missed Marcus Smart and what he brings defensively. He allows them to be so versatile defensively and how they switch things. But and maybe he's the guy that I feel like him and Jimmy Butler have the exact same mindset, right? Where, like, they think they're the best players on the planet.
Yeah.
And I do want to see a couple of matchups in key fourth quarters between, some one-on-one stuff between those two guys. That'll be fun. But Tatum, he was really good in the first half. And then the second half was just really underwhelming. Turned the ball over a bunch, had like 6 turnovers in that third quarter, had 7 on the game. That was surprising. They really pressured him. I thought PJ Tucker coming back out there after the ankle kind of set the tone for the Heat, that Heat culture, man. But
it's tough, man.
It all goes back to Jimmy Butler for me. Like, He's not Michael Jordan. I am not saying that, but like attitude wise, he's starting to give me some Jordan vibes where it's like the guys on his team are like, hey, we got Jimmy. Like he's going to take care of, like, he just, I mean, you could tell the confidence, man. And they had all kinds of other guys
on
step
both
up.
ends of the court too. That's rare.
Yeah. He is, I mean, he's impressive. He's really, really impressive. All right. On that note, episode 215 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop Monday morning. Just a reminder, you can hear Teddy from 3 to 6 on 94.7 The Ref. You can hear me from 3 to 5 on Sirius XM Big 12 Radio Channel 375. Hope you all have a great rest of your week. Have an awesome weekend. Have fun if you're going to the PGA Championship. Hopefully I'll see you there. Until next time, we appreciate y'all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.